Hi everyone, Filvet is here, and today I want to tell you about another feature in my lighting about lens flares, about bloom effect, and nice fogs, right? Let's start from lens flares, and let me show you my previous version. Yeah, the difference is huge. Oh my god. Okay, but yeah, let's start. So I think lens flares, they are pretty important because just try to look at any light source. You cannot see like exact shape without any like glowing effect. For example, like here is just a circle, white circle. Light doesn't work in real life in this way. In any case, you will see some like glowing effect or lens flare, especially if you record video through your camera, right? And I decided to add lens flares only on this huge projector and this one light source. But here and here I just added some glowing effect, some bloom. In this case, I think you agree that my light source looks way better with this new approach. And additionally, I removed all these tiny light sources that I took from, I just tried to repeat original scene from Gears of War 5, but I decided that my scene, this version, will be way better without this, like a lot of tiny light sources, because I want to get this creepy, scary mood, and I think it works better without them. What's next? I think we're ready to talk about fog. So let's start with this big one. Yeah, I think yeah, it looks completely different, and I add some glow effect, especially here on the crane, because here you can see that it's almost completely black, right? But in real life, we have this glowing effect from our light source, so it looks way better and much more like realistic, you know? And this fog, it's adding some, I don't know, volume, and it makes your light looks way better. And here's the same with this fog, and here, and you can see how light playing with this fog. And I tried several fogs. They don't work the same, because you can see that, for example, this fog is completely different from this one. And this one looks way more interesting, because you can see that, okay, here we have some more fog, some less fog, some interesting areas, you know. So the light is playing with this fog, when in case with this, maybe it's even not fog, but maybe it's a steam from this rocket, right? But it doesn't look so interesting like this or this one. And this tiny fog also it's adding some interesting effect above this table. And it's not only for beauty, right? Additionally, you can see that just pay attention on this area and here. So if you didn't notice, in this version, my rocket, this is my rocket, right? We can pop out this object thanks to these two fogs. When in this scene, it feels like this construction is the main object of the scene, but it's not true. And that was the problem in my previous version, because again, it feels like this construction is the main object of my scene. But I wanted to switch attention of the viewer, of the player, right, to this rocket, because our main goal of this scene, of our mission in game, is to launch this rocket through this tunnel. And I wanted to switch our attention to this rocket. And thanks to these two fogs, I did it. And not only them, but this one as well, because it covers this construction. You cannot see it clear, like we have some fog here, but rocket, in this case, it's just pop out more and nothing covers. I didn't add any fog in front of the rocket. And in this scene, in this project, it was really interesting to play it with lighting, because you can show most important elements not by making them like the most bright one, right? But in this case, you can show the most important, in this case, rocket, but by making it darker than our background, for example. And for me, to be honest, it was kind of a little bit confusing, because, well, I don't know, it was like weird for me, because okay, if I want to show something, even in games or in, I don't know, movie, I thought that the most important, or direction, when we showing some direction to our player, to our viewer, maybe we can put some torch or some light source. Okay, we should go there, right? This is the most important area, because we have light there. Everything is dark. We don't want to go like in the middle of the dark. We should go to this light source. But here is completely different. Here we are showing our element by silhouette, because you can see that we have a lot of dark areas on this rocket and it's not so clear, but that's why it's so cool. and for me it's unusual, right? That's our important element darker than other stuff in our scene. But that's why it's important to learn about different kind of lighting, and especially by learning references. So this artist, Jan Ostrovsky, or let me double check his name. oh sorry, Jan Ostritsov. So he showed this zombie or creature. I guess it's creature. Some zombie. Okay, so let it be zombie. So he decided to show this zombie by silhouette, not by putting bright light and showing, oh okay, yeah, it's obvious. But especially you can play with silhouette. I remember it was Resident Evil, and they made some interesting, like, scary effect when player was going through the corridor and he saw some silhouette of some, maybe it was a human or it was a zombie, but when gamer came to that room, he realized that it was just a statue in front of light source, and it was cool. So developers, they were playing with your mind, like, oh my god, what is it? Somebody is standing in that room. But no, that's why they showed that like they were playing with silhouette, right? And in this area as well, I showed this, like, fence, this ladder, some construction stuff, by adding this fog. Now it looks much more interesting. Additionally, I want to tell you that yeah, I got a feedback from Jan Ostritsov, and he's an awesome, amazing lighting artist. And he gave me a lot of very useful feedbacks, and one of them was to break my straight lines. Like, I have a lot of straight lines here, 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 and yeah, he recommended me to add some geometry on the top of my rocket, or some houses, or wires under the rocket, and to add some elements here. In this case, our scene looks more dynamic, more interesting, and I can show you another example. That here I have repetitive elements, and I decided to break them by adding this yellow sign. And even after that, I decided that it's not enough. That's why I added this flag on this area. So I just took it from here, and it looks nice, and it breaks our repetitive elements. And in this case, it looks more interesting again. So thank you guys. I hope it was useful for you, and have a good one.